Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of Robbie Minds. My name is Charles Oddy. I'll be your host for this session. I'm standing in for Abuja, who is unavoidably absent. The news for the week from WineNiger.com. Fulani herdsmen fire rages killed over 100 in Kaduna. Barely 4 days after the suspected Fulani herdsmen struck in Benue State, killing 37, 3 villages in Kaduna yesterday suffered another attack, allegedly by Fulani herdsmen, in which over 100 were feared dead. The villages which were affected was Sankwa, Tekom, Ongwaragata, inhabited by the native Mora people in the Mankot chiefdom, about 250 kilometers off Kaduna metropolis, the capital of Kaduna State. Secondly, the immigration job test strategy. People fear dead as many faint and certificate lost in Stampede. Over 125,000 applicants in Abuja and Lagos alone, chasing 4,500 jobs. Uncertain number of people fear dead in the scramble. Thousands fainted from Stampede and exhaustion. Many applicants thronged the remaining 35 states of the Federation. These casualties figures were from the recruitment test centers of the Nigeria Immigration Service held across the country yesterday. Nigeria's frightening unemployment situation came to the front line in Nigeria. In Lagos and in Abuja alone, 56,000 and 69,000 applicants respectively sat for this job test. Thousands of others took the exercise in other state capitals. NIS allegedly raked 6 billion from the applicants as processing fee. Each applicant paid 1,000 naira for processing fee. We've reached out to the Director General of the Nigerian Immigration Service as well as the Commissioner for the Ministry of Interior. And they are going to be with us to discuss this extensively on the next edition of Robbie Minds, which is next week. We don't have them now. They will be with us next week to talk in depth about this situation. Thirdly, fuel scarcity lingers nationwide. 2 weeks after the scarcity of the premium motor spirit started, it has continued to bite hard into some parts of the country. Despite the promises of the NNPC to rectify the situation, many petrol stations across the country were still shut. Fuel is still being sold as high as 110 naira and 160 naira per litre at some petrol stations, as against the offshore price of 97 naira. Also, due to the scarcity of fuel products, there have been long queues of vehicles outside the petrol stations, and the activities of black marketers remain rife in some places. We pray the issue does not linger into the new week. The Nigerian confab opened tomorrow. We hope it generates into something positive. 16 people were represented. Well, sorry, I take that again. Six people are to be representing the youth. 6 from Nigeria Council, 6 from NANS, and 6 from the federal government list of outstanding youth. We hope they represent us well and speak the truth to powers that be. Voters registration starts in Ekiti and Osun State. The voters registration exercise commenced in Osun and Ekiti State on Tuesday and would end on Monday, the 17th of March 2014. We encourage young people to come out and participate actively in securing their future. That is the news for the week. You can read more on this on www.wineniger.com. We'll be going on a short break. Afterwards, we'll bring you the editor of Tech Cabal and the winners of the battlefield of Tech Cabal. Stay tuned and join us shortly. Welcome again on the discussion of Robbie Minds. I have with me on set the editor of Tech Cabal, Mr. Bankole Olufemi. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and I have Mr. Charles Phillips, the third prize winner for the battlefield Tech Cabal, and Mr. Chukwuekem Obano, who won the first prize. Okay, starting with you, Mr. Bankole, can you just give us a brief insight into what Tech Cabal Battlefield was all about?
Thank you very much, Charles, and it's good to be on the show with you this evening. Now, the Tech Cabal Battlefield was a startup competition that we conceived sometime around last year, and we delivered that on February the 21st of January. What we did was to create a platform for startups in Nigeria to compete for the biggest prize ever for technology startups startups in Nigeria $20,000, and with the support of iRocking, Stampede IBTC Bank, and other sponsors, Jobberman and Conga, we were able to put that prize together and then put it up there for startups in Nigeria to compete for. Now, the situation right now is that not a lot of people know who is doing stuff in Nigeria in terms of technology innovation. So there's investors who are looking for young people to back who have ideas, and of course there's startups who have ideas that are looking for support and people that will help them take their ideas to the next level. And that platform was what we conceived to allow those people to bring their work to the limelight and allow everyone in the world to see what the next generation of Nigerian technology entrepreneurs have to offer.
Okay. You made mention of $20,000 US.
Yes, $20,000 US.
So these young chaps here want $20,000 US.
Specifically, Chukwuezam here and his team, about 4 of them. There's 4 of them on that team, and they are an educational technology startup. But they will explain, of course, what it is that they do to you. I'm sure in the course of the show.
So how about Charles Phillips? Did he go home with $20,000 US?
He didn't go home with a prize. But what is interesting about Charles is that his business is so interesting that many people were making offers of investment right there on the spot. So we are sure that we'll hear good news from that end in terms of people actually investing. And that was one of the things that we took away from the competition. It wasn't so much about the money. It was about discovery and getting these startups out there, into the space where people know what they do and will begin to commit to support them. So many of those startups already are having conversations with investors and people who want to invest in their companies.
So how many startups altogether took part in this competition?
So we had 92 applications at the onset, which was a lot because not many people are aware that technology entrepreneurship is on the rise in Nigeria. And out of those 92 applications, we had to whittle them down to 20, our pre-selected list. And then after doing due diligence and making phone calls to make sure that everyone was who they said they were, and an expert committee reviewed their businesses to make sure that these were really, really solid startups, we came down to a final 7 who went into what is called the Battlefield Academy. And now in the Battlefield Academy, each of the startups were paired to a mentor who walked them through their business, the product, and of course the presentation to allow them to, not just be ready, to present to the audience at the competition, but also, make their products ready, for the world to consume and, pay for it in terms of how they develop those businesses. So 92 startup applications, 20 in the pre-selection list, and then 7 actually came to the competition to compete and demo their products to everyone.
All right, so in the 7 who were streamlined, how many people emerged winners?
3 actually, but one of them cannot be with us today. They're Callbase, a telephony platform that allows people to make phone calls and set up distributed call centers from a web browser. And because he's Ounwoye and his partner, they're out of the country because, of course, they're also looking to build their business and make strategic partnerships. So they couldn't be here with us today, sadly, but they were the second prize winners and they took home $2,000 and other prizes and things like that. So we know that wherever they are, they're doing really good.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you, but
sure.
Charles Phillips, can you tell us about your startup briefly?
All right, then. Autobox is an online platform.
What's the name of the startup?
Autobox.
Autobox?
Yeah,
okay.
Autobox, is an online platform that retails genuine vehicle parts online. And the whole idea behind this was basically because of the problems we noticed Nigerian vehicle owners go through on a regular basis just to purchase parts, not just parts, genuine parts for their vehicles. So we thought of something, that we could do to alleviate the pains and the sufferings, vehicle owners go through on a regular basis. So we came up with, an online platform, Autobox.ng. We actually Goku before, but then we rebranded in the course of the competition and yeah.
Oh, you were called what before?
Goku.
Goku.
Which was a terrible name, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but, when they applied and then some of the mentors started talking to one of the things, he was like one of the startups that benefited most from the mentorship, and we saw a huge change just in the first few days after being, going to mentorship. So they rebranded, changed their website, changed their logo, changed their name, and it's a much better name. Autobox, so automotive parts, and then box, like a toolbox for cars. It's a much more brand-friendly name for their startup, yeah.
As related to Goku.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chukwuezam, tell us a bit about your startup.
Okay.
So who's this Chukwuezam, the guy with the $20,000 US?
Yeah. They won $20,000 and it was phenomenal. I don't think they were expecting it. Were you expecting it?